The most dangerous word in the human language is someday. We treat our lives like a book that we're still waiting to open. We tell ourselves that we are preparing, we are waiting for the right amount of money, the right weather, the right person to give us permission. But look at your hands, look at the mirror. You aren't getting ready to live, you are living. And while you wait for the perfect moment, the moments you actually have are burning away like film in a projector. We act as if we have 1,000 years. We don't. We have a flicker. If you aren't who you want to be right now, when exactly do you plan on starting? Most of us aren't ourselves. We are a collection of other people's expectations. You are wearing the clothes your friends think are cool. You are chasing the career your parents understand. You are adopting the opinions of the loudest voices on your screen. But beneath that mask is a version of you that is suffocating. Being who you want to be isn't a discovery. You don't find yourself, you build yourself. It is a violent, difficult process. It's like a sculptor hitting a block of marble. You have to chip away the parts of you that don't belong, the laziness, the people-pleasing, the fear of being judged. Why must you start now? Because every day you spend being the version they want is a day that the real you never existed, and you cannot get those days back. The world will try to stop you. Not because it's evil, but because it's comfortable with the version of you that it already knows. When you start to change, when you start to speak your truth and chase the vision you've kept hidden, the people around you might get uncomfortable. They will call you different. They will tell you to be realistic. But realistic is just another word for average. Being who you want to be requires a certain level of defiance. It requires you to be okay with being the villain in someone else's story so that you can be the hero in your own. The resistance you feel right now, that's not a sign to stop. That's the friction of you finally moving. If you start today, right now, you aren't just changing your future. You are redeeming your past. All the time you spent feeling lost or out of place becomes the before in your success story. Don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for a new year. Don't wait for the fear to go away. The fear will never go away. You just have to learn to do it while your heart is pounding. Your life is a canvas that is being painted in real time. Every second you hesitate is a stroke you didn't take. Every day you wait is a color you didn't use. This is the only time you get. This is the only you there is. Stop waiting for the person you want to be to arrive. That person is already there, trapped inside the person you are pretending to be. Let them out. Start now. Imagine, at the end of your life, you meet the person you could have been. The person who didn't let the fear of a no stop them. The version of you that woke up an hour earlier, spoke the truth even when their voice shook, and actually bet on themselves. That person is a ghost. They are haunting your current life. Every time you feel that itch in your chest, that feeling that you are meant for more, that is that ghost knocking on the door. You can either spend your life running away from that shadow, or you can start doing the work to become them. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is called action. It's a narrow bridge, and most people are too afraid to cross it because they're staring at the drop. But the drop is staying exactly where you are. You say you aren't ready. You say you need more skills, more time, more experience. But readiness is a myth. Mastery isn't something you have before you start. It's the reward you get for refusing to quit. You don't learn to swim by reading about the water. You learn by the cold shock of the dive. You learn by the panic of the first few strokes. If you wait until you feel ready, you will be waiting in your grave. The most successful people in history weren't the most talented. They were the ones who were willing to look like fools while they practice. They were the ones who were okay with a shitty first draft. They realized that a messy start is infinitely better than a perfect dream that never leaves your head. People overestimate what they can do in a day, but they move mountains in a year. Starting now doesn't mean you have to change your entire world by tonight. It means you change the direction of your ship by 1 single degree. If you change your path by just 1 degree today, a year from now, you will be in a completely different ocean. That is the power of now. It is the only point in time where you have any actual leverage. You can't move the past, you can't touch the future. You only have this breath. What will you do with it? Will you use it to make another excuse? Or will you use it to finally say yes to the life that's been waiting for you? We are the most comfortable generation to ever walk the earth. We have climate control, instant food, and endless entertainment in our pockets, but comfort is a slow poison for the soul. It tells you that you've done enough. It tells you that the risk isn't worth the reward. We have mistaken safety for happiness. But happiness isn't found in a state of rest. It's found in a state of becoming. Think about the moments in your life when you felt most alive. Was it when you were sitting on the couch? Or was it when you were pushed to your limit? Was it when things were easy, or when you finally conquered something that terrified you? If you want to be who you are meant to be, you have to declare war on your own comfort. You have to be willing to be tired. You have to be willing to be misunderstood. The cage is comfortable, but the sky is where you belong. People often ask, why does it matter if I change? The world is so big and I'm so small. But you aren't just an individual, you are a ripple. Every time you choose to be authentic, every time you choose to start now, you give everyone else around you permission to do the same. When you become who you want to be, you change the chemistry of your family, your friendships, and your community. You aren't just building a life for yourself. You are building a lighthouse for people you haven't even met yet. Your courage is contagious. Your starting becomes someone else's inspiration. History isn't made by people who felt ready. It was made by people who were tired of waiting. It was made by people who realized that the only difference between a dreamer and a legend is the willingness to take the first step while everyone else is still making excuses. Let's be honest. You've tried this before. You've had that midnight burst of inspiration. You've made the plan. And then you quit. You fell back into the old rhythm. And now you use that failure as evidence that you just aren't that person. But you've got it all wrong. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the requirement for it. You don't build a strong muscle without tearing the fibers first. You don't create a masterpiece without making 1,000 mistakes on the canvas. The version of you that you want to become, the one who is confident, disciplined, and free, is forged in the fire of those failures. Every time you fell down and felt like a fraud, you were actually gathering data. You were learning what doesn't work. The only difference between the person who wins and the person who watches is that the winner is willing to be embarrassed. They are willing to be bad at it for as long as it takes to be great. Stop treating your past like a prison sentence. Treat it like a tuition fee. You paid for that experience. Now, finally use it. There's a part of this journey that no one tells you about. It's the silence. It's the weeks and months where the inspiration has run dry. The likes aren't there. Your friends aren't cheering anymore because the novelty of your new life has worn off. It's just you and the work. Most people quit here because they think the silence means they're failing. But the silence is actually where the transformation happens. Character isn't built on the stage under the spotlight. It's built in the dark when no one is watching, and you choose to keep going anyway. Being who you want to be is a lonely business at first. You are outgrowing your old self, and you haven't quite met the new one yet. You are in the middle, but remember, the middle is where the iron becomes steel. If you can learn to trust the silence, if you can learn to work without the applause, you become dangerous, because a person who doesn't need external validation is a person the world cannot break. We've talked about the abyss, the struggle, and the ghost of who you could be. We've talked about the miles you have to walk in silence. But now, the video is ending. The music is fading. In a moment, you're going to put your phone down or close your laptop. And then, it's just you. The world doesn't care about your intentions. It doesn't care about the version of yourself you just built in your head while watching this. It only cares about what you do next. You have spent 10 minutes looking at a screen, thinking about your life. That is the last 10 minutes you will ever get for free. From this second on, every moment you spend thinking about starting is a moment you are actively choosing to stay the same. You don't need another video, you don't need another quote, you don't need more inspiration. You have everything you need to be the person you were meant to be. The door is open, the clock is irrelevant. The only thing left is the choice. Stop watching, start.